There was one of the elements we talked about, bringing people more neurodiversity into the industry, and I think this is a superpower for a lot of typically neurodiverse traits, because I think this is going to, I will apologize to anyone for generalizing, but within my sphere of experience, but thinking to the nth degree, seeing every extrapolation of potential outcomes is not the challenge for a lot of my neurodiverse peers and comrades. It is finding a core to simplify down, to bring other people into the conversation, and for that it is amazing. And also it's taking a real super complexity of ideas and giving you that plain English that gives you a starting point to work out from, and that has been a game changer for a couple of people I know. It keeps them on task. It stops them having to be pulled out of rabbit holes by their ankles. They come out of those rabbit holes with deeper, richer, broader insights than your average person who hasn't bothered to think to that extent. They need the wrapper to then be able to communicate as hooks for that value to other people, and for that it has proved beyond valuable in a way I can't quantify, and I'm maybe generalizing wrongly, but this is the feedback anecdotally that I'm seeing on that front. So definitely with that, I've actually, following on from this, I've got something that kind of speaks to that a bit, but I wanted to sort of keep it in context of potential use cases, because I think it's really, you have to use it to work out what it is and what it's not. And I think we're trying to generalize to regulate in such a complex space that we are going to hobble some of the potential here. So, I mean, that I make my money because I can deal in regulations, but I'm a pragmatist.
But take a step back, right? We still don't understand how it works.
Yes. Nor do most of the model vendors.
Yes. Exactly. So if you think about it, right, the idea that we should allow something that we don't fully understand to be fully autonomous and make decisions is insane, right? And think about it, like in the human world, we don't allow that, right? Like, for example, like we don't allow the genius to use AWS expert to be running production by himself, right? So we know that we put guardrails in place. It doesn't matter if this person can do it all or can provide all the answers. We put system checks and balances in our workflows, right? Yeah. We've learned that, for example, sometimes the explainability of something is more important than somebody who can do it sometimes, but it has a margin of error of X. So that's why also I feel that it's these transitions that are the interesting opportunity, right? But of course, people, sometimes it might feel like a shortcut, and I'm sure there's a lot of team companies and stuff that will use it. But I think that it's like the internet. Think about it. The power of the internet is that you can send a packet from A to B in a distributed way, and it arrives there. It actually eventually arrives there. But look at what we build on top. So yes. I still feel that Gen AI is a bit like that. That's the capability that is really interesting, is the ability to feed it data and get analysis and then have a dialogue in human language about those outcomes. And
the speed at which we're moving up the stack and building things on top of it is so rapid at the moment. That's one element of it as well, compared to the speed at which solutions were built on top of the internet.
But we've always done that, right? If you think about it, we've always done that. You can argue that the speed that we built stuff on top of the internet was massive. The speed we built stuff on the cloud was massive. Like, I think we've always done that, right? We've always built things on top of the other. What I think is a bit different now is that we have the ability to start to understand how the system works. Me and Louis were just in a session, we talk about threat modeling. The big elephant in the room on threat modeling is that most organizations have no idea how their apps work, right? Because we from the security team arrive and do a threat model. What is the first question, Louis, that we ask? Hey, how does your system work? Can you show me some diagrams? So it's almost like we don't even understand how our current systems work, right? And we're building more stuff on top. But I feel that we now start to have the capability to understand how it works, or to even be able to say it's beyond understanding. It's such a giant mess that we can't understand. But then you can ask the question: should we really be making decisions, especially decisions that infect people at the end, on top of the systems?
Yeah, I mean, this
Right.
is where I came from. This is what drove me. I've worked in corporate risk management for a long time. I worked in financial services risk management for a long time, and shoehorning the human rights and individual and collective impacts elements of data protection risk into corporate risk profiles is very, very difficult, because it still deals in financial risk management standards for right up to board reporting. And
it's all spreadsheets.
Yeah, and that's why I pivoted into data protection, because there was a legal hook to hang rights and freedoms of individuals and groups off to bring it closer to the table. That doesn't mean I'm not a pragmatist in that space, but I was always looking for ways to integrate that into the whole process. And this does help to do that in some ways. So give me a chance to get a couple further on. If you think it's a waste of time, Dennis, you can interrupt again. That's cool.
This is lovely. This is